Hey guys, Karan from Mobi Scrub here, and fortunately got an early hands-on the Vivo V11 Pro. It's probably going to launch in the range of rupees 20 to 30,000 and is a decent performing phone with Vivo's stunning bezel-less display and in-display fingerprint reader. So let's quickly unbox the device and get the phone out. So at the top you get a clear case with some documentation. Now the clear case is not plastic, it's sort of rubbery, so it's softer than plastic, and then you also have the ejection pin along with the manual and the documentation. Then there's some sticker with IMEI information, and that's the device, the V11 Pro. It's really lightweight. I love the color in the back, but we'll talk more about it. Then there's the fast charger. It comes with dual engine fast charging, and that's basically needed to rapidly charge the 3400 milliamps battery that's in the V11 Pro. Next is a micro USB cable. You don't get Type-C, but you still get fast charging, and a regular pair of earphones right inside the box, which is good to have. And that's pretty much about it. So that's the V11 Pro, and first impressions, it's the color of the back panel. This is the Starry Night color, and it looks like it just dropped out of the night sky. It's got two colors as you turn the phone at angles, blue and purple. Now, some people are going to find it too loud, and some are going to simply love it. But as far as I can tell, I think it's a pretty good move by Vivo. There are not many devices out there that can boast of a design or a color gradient like this. So I definitely find this a little bit more unique than any other smartphone out there. The next thing I instantly notice is the weight. It's amazingly light for a phone that's got a massive 6.4-inch display, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that it's got a plastic back. And it's not glass, so it's less prone to fingerprint smudging, and it's more durable because it's not going to break or crack as easy as glass does. And anyway, I think a lot of people tend to cover their glass back phones with clear case most times. So once you put the clear case, does it really matter whether you have a plastic back or a glass back? Because at the end of the day, they start looking pretty similar. But just something that I'd like to highlight is that when you do put the clear case on the V11 Pro, the color does dull down a bit. So, it doesn't look as awesome as it's intended to look. I also love how the phone feels in the hand. It's got a really good ergonomic feel to it, and the back has a very natural curve that sits very comfortably in the hand. Even from a thickness perspective, the phone seems extremely thin, and it really does not feel like you're holding a phone with a 6.4-inch large display. And the last thing that's really noticeable is the sole camera dot on the display. It obviously makes you wonder where would the earpiece be, and the proximity sensor and the ambient light sensor. But they're all there, and it's just well concealed, so don't worry, they are there. The display is not protected by Gorilla Glass, but I think the device is water resistant, and I will confirm that in my full review, but so far as I know, it is water resistant. It does have Vivo's revolutionary in-display fingerprint reader, which I think works really well, and it also has Face Unlock, which is just as fast as I've seen with the OnePlus 6. The V11 Pro supports 2 SIM cards and 1 microSD card simultaneously on one single tray, which is really cool. It's dual VoLTE enabled, and you can expand storage by inserting a microSD card with storage up to 256 gigs. At the bottom you get the micro USB port, a headphone jack, and the speaker grill along with a microphone. Now coming to the performance, the phone is powered by a Snapdragon 660, which is an octa-core processor clocked at 2.2 GHz. The V11 Pro does come with an impressive 6 gigs of RAM and has a 3400 mAh battery, which should easily last you the entire day. I also ran performance benchmark test on the V11 Pro and got a score of about 130,000, which if you compare to other phones in around the same category, you'll see it's pretty acceptable. Although performance benchmarks are not the best way to assess performance, but they're just about decent indicators and what you can expect from a device. And I did play Asphalt 9 for a couple of minutes on the V11 Pro. There were absolutely no hiccups. The game loaded pretty quickly. There was no issue in terms of performance, no lag, no delay. It was quite smooth, so no complaints as of now. Coming to the software, the V11 Pro is running the latest Android 8.1 Oreo and is layered on top with FunTouch OS, which if you're used to Vivo and Oppo phones, it won't be a new experience for you, but it's pretty similar to how iOS is. So you have all apps on the home screen and no dedicated app screen. There are a bunch of preloaded apps like Facebook, WhatsApp, Amazon Prime, Amazon Shopping app. You don't get Microsoft Office, but you do get WPS Office. Then there is, the email client. You get the entire Google suite of apps, a kids mode, UC browser. So yeah, a couple of these are preloaded. Coming to the display, you get a massive 6.4-inch Super AMOLED display, which I prefer any day over an IPS LCD display simply because they're brighter and more colorful, deeper blacks, high saturation, very vivid. They're just really stunning and punchy, so I simply love Super AMOLED displays. The display resolution is a massive 1080 by 2340 pixels, which is a screen ratio of 19.5:9, which might be too tall for some people, but personally I just love these tall displays. And what really stands out is the close to bezel-less display with 91.27 screen to body ratio. It is clearly one of the most bezel-less experiences compared to devices even like the Galaxy Note 9, which has a significantly more chin and forehead as compared to the V11 Pro. So when you're using the phone, just reading content or playing games or watching a video, the experience is just something else. And lastly, let's touch upon the camera. So the primary camera is a dual camera setup with the primary lens being a 12 megapixel shooter and the secondary lens being a depth sensor at 5 megapixel. The cameras feature something called as dual pixel sensors, which basically means that you're going to get an impressive boost in light sensitivity, which further means that you'll get amazing low light pictures. And I'll obviously be detailing all of that in my full review as well as the camera review. The more interesting part is the front-facing 25 megapixel AI camera. So in addition to taking some really detailed selfies, it also enhances facial features, and obviously we'll test it all out in the full review. But the front camera does possess a lot of AI-led features like AI scene recognition, AI portrait framing, low light mode, AI backlight, HDR, AI selfie lighting, and AI body shaping. So they all sound pretty interesting, but we'll see how they all really work out. But so far, a lot of emphasis on the camera and AI features. So that's it for now, guys. I would definitely be coming back with the full review of the V11 Pro. Until then, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button.